Drill to left field. Is it high enough? See ya! A walk-off grand slam, and the Yankees win.
And he drives one to right field over toward the line. Long run for Laureano, and he runs it, and the Mets win the ball game.
Episode 73 of the Boroughs. Kevin Monk and Michael Merlo coming to you weekdays for BTO Media. And Mike, not the most positive morning this morning, which has become kind of a theme the last few episodes, but Mets, complete rock bottom night last night.
Yep.
Yankees, we are reminded of what they do against good teams last night. Nothing changed over their 5-game win streak. And we'll start there with the Yankees because this is, I think, objectively their biggest series of the year to this point, and they absolutely folded in game one. They could not stop walking Red Sox hitters. They could not stop making errors in the field, just giving away bases, just giving away runs. And it was from guys that you should be getting better performances from, with the exception of Ben Rice defensively. Jazz Chisholm cannot be playing bad defense the way he does against good teams. Paul Goldschmidt makes an error, and it just, the wheels fell off again last night, Mike. It was really discouraging.
Yeah, it's discouraging because you mentioned it in that 5-game winning streak. They really didn't look like this team that was throwing the ball over the field. They weren't pitching poorly. And these issues that we had saw earlier, I should say, where we're sitting here saying the Yankees are not a playoff team, those came back to life last night against the Red Sox. And it's been a theme against Boston over the past couple of years, and especially this season. It's been a theme against Toronto as well, who leads the division right now. So that's what really sucks about it. When you're playing well and you want to keep that rolling against a team that's right behind you in the wild card and division race, that doesn't happen.
I have a few stats from Ryan Garcia on Twitter that I wanted to read during the show about the division. First is that they have 12 unearned runs allowed this year against Boston and Toronto. They've played them, I think, 17 times. So 12 unearned runs in 17 games. They have a minus 17 run differential on the year against Boston and Toronto. Imagine the difference in the Yankees season right now if just in those 17 games they made their plays defensively.
Yeah. You might be, a game or two out of the division?
Yep. The Yankees have committed 74 errors this year. A little over 25% of them are against Boston and Toronto. That's 19 errors in 17 games.
Jesus.
Against Boston and Toronto.
Like, why? Why do they fold against them? That's the one thing I have. The Red Sox won 6 of 7 games this year against the Yankees.
And listen, Boston is not good enough for it to be 1-6 against them this year. They're not.
No.
And they did not play well last night. They actually played really poorly last night. They were 3 for 19 with runners in scoring position. Giolito only gave you 4 2/3 innings. He was not very good. And the Yankees and Red Sox, through the first 7 innings, kind of had the same exact game where they couldn't help themselves out. But then the Sox in the last 9 outs were the team that played good baseball. And the Yankees never started playing good baseball. Last night was so frustrating because you might not get Boston to play a bad game like that again this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And at home, against Giolito, you have to get that win because tonight it's Bayo and Fried, who's been struggling. Tomorrow it's Crochet. You're probably not winning the Crochet game. Yep. And Sunday is Sunday Night Baseball with Carlos Rodon on the mound, so I'm not even going to get excited.
We're not confident in that one.
No.
The Yankees are 4-13 this year against Toronto and Boston. That's the exact record according to Talking Jake. I mean, that can't happen. That cannot happen.
It's just horrible that this is where they are right now against the division. And the last few years against Boston, it's been a problem. It's been an issue. They've had trouble beating Boston in the Cora era. I don't have any exact stats on it, but we just know that's the case. And what I was really worried about going into last night's game was Ben Rice catching. And I knew after the extra inning game, Ben Rice was going to catch because they weren't going to give Wells the next day. And let's be real, the lineup the Yankees rolled out last night is probably their playoff lineup, because Wells just has not been good enough this summer. So they roll out their best offensive lineup possible, and Wells is a disaster behind the plate. I mean, Rice is a disaster behind the plate last night. Could not throw anyone out, The reason I had the fear is because Cora steals like crazy against the Yankees. The Red Sox run more against the Yankees than they run against anyone else all year long. And they have good athletes on their team, but they ran like crazy. Rice couldn't handle it. And what doesn't show up for Rice in the stat sheet is the amount of strikes on the border that don't get called strikes because he doesn't frame them.
Yeah.
And he doesn't hold them there. And so it was a really frustrating game to watch him catch.
It's inexperience. That's the new way they teach you how to catch. You have to be able to frame. And, Ben Rice, offensively, we know what he gives you. It's a home run last night. But, yeah, the defense isn't there. It's not. It's, what's funny, I talked about this on Mic'd Up on Wednesday. This might be, and I don't think they're better than they were last season. Still, I'm still holding on to that take. But I think this is a deeper lineup offensively than what they had last season, especially with Judge playing and with the way Stanton's been playing too. And this team is not going to win the division. This is the deepest lineup that Aaron Judge has played in since becoming a New York Yankee, and they are not going to win the division. To me, that's the most shocking part about this whole season. And really, it just comes down to the fact that they're 4-13 against the two teams they need to not be 4-13 against.
That's it. That's all it comes down to. If they were able to win 4 more of those games, 2 against Toronto and 2 against Boston, if they were able to win 4 more of those, say both of the 4-game sets they got swept on the road, if you split those and all of them you played bad baseball in, if you just split them, you would be 2 up on Boston and 3 back of Toronto last night. So it's just like mind-numbing that they cannot beat these teams. And you're right. The lineup has been great this year. Brian Cashman built a great lineup this offseason after losing Juan Soto. I can't do any other narrative on it. I can't think of it any other way. And last night was one of those games, and I've said it on the show before, this will be the first time in the Aaron Judge tenure that the season ends, and I'm not going to blame it on the roster being poor. I don't think the roster is great, but the roster is not the fault of the team. I really think this is the first year of coaching, or the first year that I'm going to get on the coaching like this, because it's just inexcusable that they're losing these games. It really.
They're 4.5 games back at Toronto. I understand the division's still technically in play, but I'll ask you this question because, and you can come back and ask me it. You watch this team every night religiously. Do you think there's a chance they could come back in this division and win it?
No, and I said with Jack Sargent last week, a week ago today, and he texted me last night about it, but I remembered saying it. The Yankees, if they could play these teams well, I think that they could win it. But they clearly are incapable of making a run because they cannot get out of their own way against Boston and Toronto. And they play them now. They have 3 more games here. They play them 9 times the rest of the season, those two teams. There's no way they win 6 of those or 7 of those because they just don't show you anything against these teams that makes you confident. And both managers have Boone's number in these series because Dave Roberts did the same thing in the World Series last year, and he's had his number the last few years, the few times we play LA, but it's put the ball in play and run the bases.
It's not shocking with Cora, but it's shocking with Schneider a little bit. I think that's more of their style though in Toronto. That's what
I think it is. I think their style. Yeah. So maybe the manager doesn't have the number, just the team does.
Yeah.
The players do. And another thing, I could sit here and rip Boone all day, but the players themselves fold against these teams. Like, you cannot make the plays that you make against Boston and Toronto when you don't make them against almost any other team. I mean, the last 5 games, we see that the Yankees, I know the teams are worse. I know St. Louis is not great. I know that Tampa's not great. We see that the Yankees can make routine plays. And then Boston and Toronto come through and they can't.
No. It's 3 errors in that second inning. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I mean, I was sitting there laughing at what was going on. I don't know how Yankee fans are able to sit there, diehard Yankee fans are able to sit there and go through this night in and night out.
It's awful. And it's just, I mean, Jazz Chisholm too, while we're talking about the second inning, that throw was obviously abysmal, but
it was so funny.
I'm going to say something crazy about a guy with the offensive stats he has. He's in Gleyber Torres territory for me.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand him anymore.
Really?
Cannot stand him.
He's a better offensive player than Glaber,
and he's stealing. Glaber didn't steal any bags.
No.
So Jazz is definitely better. But he's in that territory for me where now when he gets a ground ball, when he has to turn a double play, I'm holding my breath.
It was so funny because Goldschmidt didn't even try for it. He didn't even look up at it.
No.
The ball just comes over his head and he was like, whatever. This thing's in the stands.
And how used to it is he at this point?
Yeah. He's like, and then he made a bad error though in the ninth.
Yep.
That
terrible.
led to the home run.
Yep. It's so bad. And I mean, they weren't going to win the game anyways at that point, but it can't happen.
And how about Anthony, man? Anthony's a problem.
He's
Roman
a problem.
Anthony's a problem.
At least 10 years of him in the division stinks because his swing obviously projects great at Yankee Stadium, as we saw last night. But he is a problem. He's definitely going to be
real good. And can I say this? And my friend had said to me yesterday, he was like, they probably granted his release so he could go do this. But Nathaniel Lowe being released by the Nationals just to be picked up by the Red Sox, Lowe was having a bad year, and don't get me wrong, but he's been good with guys in scoring position in his career and this season. And now he goes to a place where they needed a first baseman, and he's rejuvenated now. He's playing in a pennant race. What a pickup! What a steal for them!
If you would have traded for them at the deadline, like Boston, if they would have just acquired them at the deadline, the perception around their deadline would have been much greater. But since they got him as a DFA guy a week later, it is different. But their team is so much better than it was right before they traded Devers, I think. Because now you have Anthony giving you some star traits in the lineup. Trevor Story is playing on a different level since they traded Devers.
Bregman's been great. And being able to get Lau like that, I mean, he's hitting like 200 right now, but he's got over 70 RBIs. His production numbers are great for a guy with average numbers like that. Who was playing first base for them?
Well, they had...
I'm looking.
What did they have there? Yeah, I'm trying to think. Because obviously Dalbec's been...
Abraham Toro was playing a little first. Obviously, Casas got hurt, right?
Obviously, that was the whole Devers thing. Casas got hurt. Devers wouldn't play there.
I don't know if moving guys around there.
Yeah, I don't know if Christian Campbell ever played there. I don't think so.
Gonzalez may have gotten some run there.
And also, not for nothing, but Marcelo Meyer's out now, and he was not hitting at all. So their lineup is better than it was at that time in the season when they traded Devers. It really is.
He had a 674 OPS.
I mean, young kid, promising defender, probably hit a little bit better next year, but he wasn't doing anything. They're a much better team than they were and their pitching's much better than it was 2 months ago.
Crochet's unbelievable.
Crochet's great. I actually love watching him. He's just...
Well, you get to watch him this weekend.
I get to watch him tomorrow, yeah, but I also get to watch Will Warren, so...
I love Will Warren.
Warren, I mean...
Who's the real winner there?
You know what's funny? If you take Will Warren's Dodgers start out and the one bad Blue Jays start, he has like a 2.5 ERA.
He's legit.
But those 2 games, he got shelled.
Yeah, I know. I know about the Blue Jay stars. Yeah.
You've got him on the squad, yeah.
I've got him on my squad. That Blue Jay start was not good, but he settled in.
Ben Rice can't catch. That's one of my notes here. I know we kind of talked about it already, but it's such an unfortunate situation that we've gone over so many times, but 5 of your 7 best hitters are Judge, who can't play the outfield right now, Stanton, who really can't play right field, Goldschmidt, who's first baseman, Rice, who's a first baseman, and that would be the 4. So 4 of your 5 or of your 6, 7 best hitters can't play, can't do what you need them to do defensively to get them into the game properly. So you're DHing Judge, you're playing Stanton in right field, you're catching Ben Rice, and you have Goldschmidt at first, and only one of them can play their position.
Can I go over this for a second?
Yeah.
Over Stanton's last 28 days, he has 10 home runs, 23 RBIs. He's hitting .365 with a 1286 OPS. Hold on. His last 14 days, he has 5 homers, 12 RBIs. He's hitting .571 with a 1333 slug and a 1987 OPS. That's the last 14 days for Stanton. I mean, the guy is just unfreaking real right now.
I'm curious to see their lineup tonight because Boone already said he's not playing outfield tonight.
So you're going to sit Judge?
I think he's going to hit Judge and just sit Stanton. And Stanton's become now just the most incredible pinch hit option in league history.
Yeah.
So he's going to get at bats.
Why not just sit Judge tonight?
I just think it's probably one of those things where you don't sit Aaron Judge, you know? But Stanton's been better, but you just don't.
Stanton's been better.
Stanton's been the best hitter in the league.
That's crazy. Behind Lindor, of course. It's crazy.
What bothered me also is last night, 2 nights ago, you finally get Wells to have a little bit of a breakout game. Hits the 2 home runs in Tampa.
Yeah.
One of them, a real clutch homer in the 10th. But fine, he doesn't play the next day. I didn't think he was gonna. But Jose Caballero has been so good. And he has
this weekend.
He has no chance at playing over Anthony Volpe.
You texted me this week. That's one of Cashman's greatest moves.
That's one of the best Cashman moves of the Judge era for sure. Because you added a deadline guy. He's got 40 stolen bases. And all he does is steal. Did you see on... I have to stop everything we're doing right now. Did you see 2 nights ago him get ejected?
Yes.
That sequence?
Yeah.
The 3 throws over?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know. I was very confused watching it. I just... He's a weapon. He's a very pesky player.
That was very weird, though, because I think that was probably the first time a pitcher threw over a third time without stepping back onto the mound. And the umpires had no idea what to do because who was it? Fairbanks pitching?
Yeah.
He throws over twice, doesn't get Caballero 2 times. And then after the second time, he steps off the mound to get the ball from the first baseman. And right before he steps back on, he throws it back. So Caballero goes to second. But Fairbanks never actually stepped back onto the mound, so the umpire said it wasn't a third disengagement. But he threw 3 times.
And then he argued that. And then
so he went to second, went back to first, and then got thrown out stealing second again by the catcher.
Oh, okay.
And then he snapped, which was also dumb because Stanton had to go play right field in the last inning of a close game.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there at this point. They won. He got tossed because he just went ballistic about the 3 throws. Yeah. And it was also a soft ejection, and Girardi agreed with that. But Girardi always agrees with that. But he agreed with that because Caballero's 2 feet from the dugout with his back turned to the umpire, and he says something and gets tossed.
Boone didn't have an opportunity to go out there and defend him? I didn't see. I didn't see the end of it.
I think Boone, because Rojas, because once he gets tossed, so he's got his back turned, he's at like third base. And the second base umpire tosses him.
Yeah.
But he's got his back turned. He's walking back into the dugout. And then he gets tossed and he sprints right at the umpire, Caballero. So Boone and Rojas run out to get him away from the umpire because I think they didn't realize he got tossed.
Yeah.
So they were trying to keep him from getting ejected, but he already had. But Boone just had a little talk with him after because I think Boone had to make sure he doesn't get ejected from another big game.
Yeah.
Late in the game because he does it way too often. But it was weird. The guy threw over 3 times and it almost cost the Yankees.
Yeah, well, they still won. That was a great win, even though they blew it. We definitely need to talk about Duvall.
That's where I was going next because he got nailed to the 3 pickoff rule last night. Didn't even know he did it. And this goes to my conversation the other day that he doesn't care about the pitch clock.
He doesn't care about the new rules.
He just throws it over 3 times. Runner gets second, runner scores. And overall, the biggest problem with Duvall is he stinks. He's awful. Walks the house, has no command, has no control. He has been really disappointing since the deadline, and you couldn't have been more right about him and why he got sent off for nothing.
Oh, yeah, we were shocked. I mean, we were absolutely shocked when we saw the package, when we saw that they were actually willing to move him. He has an extra year of control, and this is a guy that we know, we know to be a late inning guy, a late inning weapon, and a closer in big spots for the Giants. And, when you really do a deep dive into how he's been the last couple of years, you see that the walks are up and he's hittable. And I think the Yankees are really starting to see that right now. And it's no longer a surprise. It's no longer a surprise how they got him, why they got him. It's actually remarkable.
Yeah, it's been really bad. You can't trust him at all. I'd actually, if he had options, I'd send him to AAA for a week or two and just try to get some control down there because he's got none. But
interesting.
It's that bad. I don't trust him to come into a game and hold down a 6th inning. Also, last night, just little notes about the game.
Yeah.
David Hamilton reached base 4 times, 2 walks, reached on an error, and hit a single. He's a 178 hitter.
Yeah.
The Yankees have a real issue with not going after the low average guys in the bottom of a lineup. They did it with Jock Peterson in that Texas series. Obviously took him deep, and they walked him 2 nights in a row after that in big spots. But it just bothers me that they nibble. And this is not a Yankees issue. This is actually a league-wide thing, I think. But a lot of nibbling against low average hitters. And overall this year, I think this is another Ryan Garcia stat. Yankees are 6-17 versus Detroit, Boston, Houston, and Toronto this year. 6-17. And against Seattle, they're 5-1. Those are the other playoff teams.
Yeah. Interesting. Not playing well against the good teams besides the Mariners. And again, we see where the games are made up in the division. We see how the Blue Jays have this lead.
Yep.
And why the Red Sox had this lead.
I think if I had to predict the remainder of the Yankee season, they beat up on all the bad teams they play. They end up getting the top wild card, probably finish 3 games behind Toronto because they'll win so many of the soft schedule games they have. And then they're going to end up playing one of Boston or Seattle, maybe Boston, I'd guess. And I think they just get bounced right out of the first round.
This is a quick exit for this team. You don't see a run.
If they could get out of the wild card round, I could see them winning the next series too. But I don't think they get out of the wild card round. A 2-game set for the Yankees, or best of 3 for the Yankees to not completely self-implode, and who even starts game 1? Max Fried. At this rate, that does not sound optimistic. If it's against Boston, there's no way they get out of the first round.
I'm so on to football.
I'm very on the football. Well, your team just won the preseason, so
yeah, I'm pumped.
Are they doing a banner night on the home opener?
No, we actually have rings and whatnot.
Okay.
So we have banners and stuff, so we don't need to do that.
Okay, I thought they were.
I know that the Jets will probably be into
the
that.
Jets also have a ring, actually. First one in New York. First one in New York. First one in New York, though. Giants didn't win one until after the Jets did.
Right. Well, we had all those.
Took them a very long time.
We had those. What do you call it? Why am I blanking on the name? The non-NFL championships. The NFL championships, not the Super Bowls.
That's really impressive when there were 4 teams in the league.
Yeah.
That's sick. So the Browns have 10 also.
Yeah, well, you guys weren't around because you were irrelevant. So
no, we were the AFL Titans. Really good franchise. Really special franchise.
No.
Let's go on to the
jerseys.
Speaking of special franchises like the Jets, how about the Mets last night? Hit complete rock bottom.
Oh, it's rock bottom. It is rock bottom, Kevin. When you have the Nationals, I woke up to a nice text from Kevin this morning that had the Nationals trolling. The first thing I saw, the Nationals trolling the Mets. The best part about LOL Mets is 2 L's. Okay, this is good. This is really, really good. No, it's awful. I have a bunch of stats I want to read out. I think one being they're 5-16 since July 28th or July 24th. I'm pretty sure the day is. They are an awful baseball team. There's not much they do right. And yet, Kevin, I still, right now, hold out hope. You know why? Because there's still time to get hot. Because there's a team in Milwaukee that got hot at the wrong time. Me here, the Mets aren't hot yet. And there's a chance they get hot. So I am not going to sit here and be all depressed like it's over because there's still time. I don't think it's likely, but there's time.
You know who's hot?
Who's hot?
The Reds.
And yet they haven't passed the Mets in the postseason yet. The Mets still hold
maybe
the playoff
tonight.
spot.
But maybe tonight.
Possibly tonight.
Do you think there will be at least one day where they're out of the spot?
Yeah, I was almost hoping that they would fall out of it.
Mm-hmm.
To feel that pressure.
Yeah.
But Yeah, obviously, if they lose tonight, they're out of it, and then the Reds win, they're out of it.
Like the Yankees had an hour and a half stretch 2 weeks ago where Cleveland was in the spot before the Yankees game ended, and the Yankees had won, so they went back into it. But the Mets haven't even had that yet.
You were scared.
Reds have been behind for the whole time, but I do think it's going to happen at some point. Reds are playing really good ball right now. They showed a graphic last night on Fox during the Yankee game that I think the Reds are the 4th best record in the league since June 15th.
They also have one of the easiest schedules to finish a year.
They do, yeah. So this is definitely a real playoff race, but the Mets do still have time to get hot. I think essentially what you're saying is you wouldn't trade Mets summer for Brewers summer.
What do you mean?
Like Mets haven't gotten hot yet. Brewers got hot at the wrong time. Mets are having the better summer for a World Series title.
Technically, yes. Right now, yeah.
Yeah. You'd
That's
rather not
crazy,
get
that's
hot than get hot at the wrong time.
Exactly. The Mets are 12-20 in 32 games against the Braves, Nationals, Pirates, Orioles, and Rays this year. All teams that are 5 games below 500 or worse. Just a 500 record. Okay, in those games, they'd be 71-56, 2.5 games back in the division with 7 games going against Philly. That's Jolly Olive from John Boy Sports. Yep. With that stat, it's incredible. It is incredible.
That's really bad.
Bad it's been.
That's really bad.
Really bad. How about 5 for 39 against the worst bullpen ERA in baseball?
That was awful.
How about that?
MANAEA did not step up to it either yesterday. Yesterday was just a bad
How does
game.
MANAEA go 4 2/3 with 8 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 walk? I understand he hit 3 guys, but like, how? You had 8 strikeouts. You had 1 walk. You only gave up 3 hits, and you went 4 2/3, and you end up giving up 4 runs.
That's actually an impossible stat line.
And then Rogers can't finish the job. I know Mullins was close to making a really incredible catch on the play in center field, but then Rogers can't get the job done with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Yeah, their bullpen has not been good, man.
It's a problem. Everything is a problem. Besides Brett Baty, everything is a problem.
And Vientos.
Vientos getting hot.
Vientos is getting hot at the right time. He's trying to save this team. You know, we haven't spoken about it yet. Cedric Mullins stinks.
He's not awful.
He's got a 570 OPS.
What's his batting average?
196.
I guess he hasn't been that great.
With the Mets on the year, it's...
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, on the year,
he had gotten hot. He had gotten hot right after the Milwaukee series, but I guess he cooled down.
He's got 11 hits with you guys in 63 plate appearances.
Oh, he's not killing them.
No.
He's
got a homer.
Killing them. He does have a homer.
4 RBIs.
I was going to say something. Oh, that text message you sent me the other night was really funny about how you compared me to a drug addict with Brett Beatty.
Yeah. It's bad. Watching you relapse every 5 weeks is really bad.
Man. Did you see that homer he hit Wednesday?
I'm so tired of talking about him on this
Did you see that homer he hit Wednesday night?
Yes.
455, 115 miles per hour.
Right after I texted you, this kid I used to work with I didn't even know he was a Mets fan, posts on his story like them going crazy at the game, and it says Baty Bonds.
He's legit. I saw Brett Ohtani. Okay, that both work. Guy's unbelievable.
Is he the franchise third baseman?
He might be. He really might be.
We're back here. It's like one of those circles, those cycles.
Yeah.
People do those memes.
Yep.
And it's like, we are here, and it's hyped about Brett Baty. The next stage is like, all right, this guy's not that good. Next phase, can we send him down to the minor leagues? Then the next one, starting to heat up.
Yeah, we're it's a perfect analogy for what it has been like for Brett Beatty.
Yeah, I hate him.
That's fine. How about
after
Mendoza?
Baty Day, I'm off of him completely after Baty Day.
How about Mendoza getting crushed the past couple of weeks here? I mean, really all season long, though. He doesn't play McNeil yesterday after McNeil's 8 for 12 against Gore. Comes out that McNeil has shoulder soreness, so he's getting ripped on Twitter. Then they come out with McNeil's been a little sore. He got crushed for this move. Top of the 9th, 1 out, down one, runner on first. Terrence comes up, and he doesn't pinch hit Terrence. The only guy he had on the bench was the backup catcher and Ronnie Mauricio. There was a lefty in the game. Ronnie has a 287 OPS against lefties hitting from the right-hand side, and he didn't pinch hit Terrence. Terrence grounded into a double play, lined the ball. It was a line out, really hit the ball hard. And he grounded into a double play. And he got killed for that. Meanwhile, I'm like, I would have hit Terrence. I wouldn't have pinch hit Ronnie at all.
Well, that's one of those cases too. And obviously I got on Mendoza 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, clearly.
And I still stand with if they miss the playoffs, he should not be the manager. But you cannot blame the manager for every single thing. I get so tired of it with Yankee fans too. Like, you make a good move to pinch hit a guy, or last night, people wanted Jazz Chisholm to pinch hit, to get pinch hit 4 against a lefty pitcher in, I think, the 7th or 8th inning against a lefty reliever. It might have been the 6th inning. I should have wrote it down. But, who are your pinch hit options there? Jose Caballero, who, traditionally is really not a guy you'd pinch hit. But would be a great move, obviously. Great trade. Yeah. And then you have Wells, who you're not going to put up lefty. Jazz, as much as I don't like him against left-handed pitching, he's one of your everyday starting players, and he has over an 800 OPS. He's going to hit. He struck out, and everyone's ripping him. He's going to hit in that spot. You're not going to pinch hit Jose Caballero for him. He's not going to. The manager gets ripped for every single thing in a loss, and a lot of times it's just life.
For things he does and doesn't do.
Yeah, exactly. And last night, Boone makes the right move putting Luke Weaver in the 7th. He gets shelled. He gets lit up. It happens. There's a lot of luck and trust involved in managing a baseball team, and sometimes you have to go with it. I think that a lot of times, you pinch hit a guy like Terrence in that spot, and it's the right move, and then it backfires, and it's an easy talking point to just bash the manager because you have nothing else to point at.
It's a tough job. I understand that. Stearns put the pieces in place here with this bullpen where they should have success, but when those starters don't go deep into games, Mendoza didn't bring these guys over here, right? Those aren't Mendoza moves. Those are David Stearns moves. And the fact that these pitchers can't go more than 4 2/3 innings, that's not on Mendoza. Now he's got to deal with this, and now he's got to manage this bullpen. And when they don't hit, again, who is that on? You're going to blame Mendoza for that too? I don't blame Mendoza for the offense going cold for a little bit. I mean, he can hype them up all he wants. That's not really going to do anything.
I blame Aaron Boone for the team consistently making errors and consistently making poor decisions. Right. I don't blame him for them not hitting in big games. I don't blame them for not pitching. The biggest defense on Mendoza is exactly what you just said. David Stearns failed him with the starting pitching this year. Absolutely did. And I think we see the bigger picture with Stearns is he is obviously looking towards next year and hoping to have spots open next year for the young guys to become members of this rotation.
Well, he was never going to spend big on frontline starting pitching because he has these guys coming up.
You were never going to go get a Max Fried or a Corbin Burns because you didn't want to clog up that spot in the rotation and financially for the next few years. So you waited and you put this rotation out there, and it worked last year doing this method. It did not work this year. It has not. And I mean, what can Mendoza do about that? What can he do? Nothing.
Well, Nolan McLean pitches today.
That's something to look forward to.
Maybe you see him Brandon Sprout this week.
Where is the game tonight?
In Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
So McLean maybe can break a curse there.
Yeah. But I said this to my buddy last night who's just completely out. I said, if they go 5-2 over the next 7 games, 3 against Atlanta, 4 against Philly, everybody's fully back. Everybody's
totally back.
Bought back in. And if it's 3 out of 4 against Philly, now you're starting to get some confidence for the division.
Baseball this time of year is funny, too, because football, a win when you're a middling team or a loss swings the pendulum so far.
Yeah.
Because there's only 17 games. But there's 162 baseball games. But I don't know if you feel the same way. We've been in the same boat all summer. Yankees pick up 1 or 2 big wins. I'm all the way back.
Yeah.
Like last night, I was fully invested in their future in this season. And I was thinking, if we win this series, we're probably the AL World Series favorite.
No,
and that's what goes through your mind when your baseball team starts winning this time.
There's nothing better than when the Mets won 3 straight. I was walking around the house. I'm like, there's just no better feeling than when your baseball team's playing well, man.
Like, you're back.
And then they lose 2 straight to the Nationals, and you're like, oh, we're dead again.
Yep.
Like, it's great.
Yankees won 5 straight, and I'm riding a high. 7 of 8 games won, 5 in a row.
Feeling
then
good.
Last night happens, and today's miserable.
Yeah. And you don't like the outlook for the rest of the series.
I don't like the outlook for the rest of my life after last night's game.
Okay.
That's how much baseball can affect you this time of year.
It could always be worse. You could always be a Met fan getting trolled by the National social media team.
That's the worst ever.
Oh,
that's the worst thing to ever happen.
Double L.
Awful. Anything else on the Mets here?
Let me see.
We love Mendy again.
Not really, though. Do you think they're are they a lock? Like,
no.
Like, this is a race. Like, this is gonna come down to the wire.
I don't want to make any declarations today.
No, make a declaration.
But I'm starting to get there with the Reds.
Starting to get there with the Reds. You've been there with the Reds for
but I'm starting
4 months.
I'm starting to get ready to. This Atlanta series will determine a lot of it. How both of these teams play this weekend, actually, the Reds and Mets.
Okay.
But it's possible Monday or Tuesday, whenever we do the next episode, is Mets are definitely not making the playoffs day for me.
Okay.
Because I've been high on the Reds, obviously. And anyone who watches this show knows that. And I'm so down on the Mets right now.
You see the Orioles just signed Samuel Basallo, their catching prospect, 8 years, $67 million.
Yep. Good for him.
The Yankees had a deal with Basallo
as
an amateur before he was eligible to sign in 2021. Then the Yankees signed Garrett Cole as a free agent. That cost them $1 million in international pool money for the class. And it was cut loose.
Yeah, tough. We have Wells, though.
Yeah.
And Rice.
Yep.
Rice is really good, though, offensively. Yeah. Like, this kid can really hit.
No, I know. That was a bomb last night. Brett Beatty, 898 OPS in the second half of the year. This kid could really hit, too.
Man, it's just embarrassing stuff.
This kid could really hit.
It's really embarrassing.
It's so different. The differences between the Mets 2024 and 2025, it's incredible. And the one thing is that this team just lays down on their back and dies when they're down late in the game, and the other team would just always fight, and try and do everything they could to crawl their way back and then actually win the game.
Well, the Winker walk-off was a year ago yesterday, right?
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. They don't come back.
You just see the vibe and the passion of that squad. That was I said it to you at the end of the year last year. And I think Mets fans realize it. Like, I wasn't meaning to put you guys down. But since that year happened and then you go get Soto, the expectations go from, if we make the playoffs, this will be a really fun year, to we're a World Series team and we should be competing for a World Series. That's what the expectations flipped to.
And the vibes change.
The Mets could win a World Series next year or this year. And there will always be something special and unique about last year's team. Like the 2017 Yankees were that for me. That's why the seasons after that, with maybe the exception of last year because of the Soto Judge insanity, that 2017 was probably the most fun year of the Judge experience because it was the first year and you were very surprised and you loved the ride.
Right. And there will never be a team like that because of how unexpected it was and how organic everything that happened was. There's just never going to be that feeling, and you're never going to have that feeling of being an underdog because they were an underdog last year. Not many people expected it, and they're no longer with Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor and hopefully Pete Alonso and a massive top 3 in your pitching staff. You're no longer an underdog.
And I think, too, this offseason was the first time. I know the payroll has been so high the last few years, but it's been high with so many guys that Cohen didn't pay and that weren't on the team. I think getting Soto established the Mets as the big spender in baseball. We knew it was going to happen, but it finally did this offseason. And now the national perception around them will be exactly what you said. They'll never be an underdog. They'll never have that again.
They're hated too.
Yep.
By people around the league.
Now they're in
Soto
that
gets booed every single at bat on the road.
They're in that Yankees of the George Steinbrenner era. You bought your championships thing where the money you spend on your team is always going to be attached. If you win the title, it's you bought your championship, you bought your team, which, trust me, doesn't feel bad when people say that.
Yeah, they can spend $500 million. I don't really.
And then when you don't win the championship, it's you spent $350 million on that team.
Yeah.
So it's like the worst team.
And that's what we're trending. That's what we're trending to right now.
It's the worst team money can buy every single time you don't win the World Series.
Well, that was really the 2023 team. Remember that team? That team was $350 million payroll, and that was that headline was thrown out there. The worst team money could buy.
That team was bad.
That was a really bad team.
You want to go around the league quick?
Yeah, we can go around the league.
So last week we forgot to speak about realignment.
Yeah.
And I want to revisit it this week.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's really I'm very torn because I understand that change is good in some senses, and baseball fans don't like to change. Baseball fans are traditionalists. Mm-hmm. We don't like the big change. And yet you see what happened with these new rules with the pitch clock, and it changed baseball for the better. And, at first I wasn't so accepting, but now I love it. And I don't even realize it's going on. I want to be able to say, okay, I'm willing to try this, but I can't get rid of that history. There's way too much history here. And I don't think this is a good idea. I really don't. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know why Manfred even brought that up, because for him to bring that up tells me it's way more substantial than the rest of us had been under the impression it was.
Yeah.
Before that. So it feels like something that might happen. And the one we saw from The Athletic, did you read that one? Jack Lydon sent it to us.
I saw the original one.
So I saw the one from The Athletic. And I like the one in The Athletic. I don't know if it's the same one you saw, where it doesn't, because I don't want the Mets and Yankees in the same division.
All right, so it's not the one I saw.
Okay, so I don't want, it would be Yankees, Baltimore, Toronto, Boston in the AL East. And the NL East would be Pittsburgh, Mets, Philadelphia, and Washington. It's all 4-team divisions.
Yeah.
And then you have the Central is basically the same: Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, but Kansas City moves into a new, it introduces the South division.
Yeah.
Which is Colorado, Kansas City, Texas, Houston. And then in the NL, it will be Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Miami, and an expansion. So they're factoring in one new team in each league. The AL West would get one in Portland or Salt Lake City. I like that
one. Because you're not changing the National League and the American League. You're not completely getting rid of it.
And I think baseball has enough talent and enough ways to win for you to add 2 expansion teams right now also, because other sports, I think, don't have that luxury. The NBA is going to expand, and I think it's going to be a mess because I don't think they have enough good players. And the NFL, you can't do any more expansion because there's only 10, 11, 12 quarterbacks who can win games. The rest of the teams are already having a tough enough time finding one. You can't add teams. Major League Baseball, I think, could add 2 teams and get away with it pretty well.
And the only team that so the only 2 teams that flip American League and National League is Colorado, who really gives a rat's ass.
Yep.
And Tampa Bay, again, who really gives a rat's ass.
Yeah, and the only real question I'd have after that is, how are you doing the playoff format?
Right.
Because you're adding an extra division, and you're inevitably adding an extra, basically, central division, which is not going to be good. Especially, you look at the American League, like, these teams don't win games ever, and you're just adding another division like that with Colorado coming to the American League and being in that division. Portland would be horrific for a baseball team. I agree with that. Athletic suggested it. I would put a team in Salt Lake City if you're expanding.
I think Salt Lake City, and then Nashville is going to get one.
Salt Lake City's got a great sports following.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Salt Lake City and Nashville. That's going to be the 2 teams.
So that's how I would do it, and I obviously you're agreeing right now. That's how I think it should be done. 4 teams per division. Probably have to keep 6-team playoff format. Winner of each division plus 2 wild cards.
And only 2 teams change divisions, technically.
Yeah, that's it.
Like Kansas City changes divisions, but they're in a new division. And then Miami, 3 teams. You're flopping Miami and Atlanta for Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And I'm totally cool with that being the National League East.
And I guess technically Colorado is moving from the NL West to the AL South.
That's it. It's really not massive change. They could do that. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, so I'd be all right with that. I'm actually just going to quickly.
I also just keep it. Don't keep it the NL Central.
Yeah,
don't change the NL North, NL Central, and then you want to go NL South. Fine.
Let me just really quick. I'm going to pull these up. Click on the screen.
I think they would. Yeah, and I think in this comment here for Brendan, I think they would adopt football's. They would adopt the playoff. 7 teams. Yeah, they would adopt.
That would make sense too. That would make plenty of sense.
They would go to 7 teams. In each
real quick,
14 teams.
Real quick, I'll pull it up here. This is what the Athletic is going with in the National League. This would be the realignment. You obviously have some new teams, and then Tampa Bay is flipping to the NL in the South, but that's what the National League would look like. And then the American League would look like this.
I would actually be excited for this.
I would be totally down with this. And you're keeping traditional rivalries intact.
Yep.
Around the league.
You guys lose Tampa in the division. That's huge. That's big time for you guys.
That's great for us.
I know how scared of Tampa you are.
That's huge for us. Kevin Cash is a Yankee too.
Right. I'm in.
Yeah, this is the one concern basically that we just brought up, right? Is
the West.
That South or West, whatever it would
be.
The
South.
The South would be disastrous competitively. And the South and the AL too, I think, would be, you have Houston and Texas, but you're adding Colorado and Kansas City into that division. And then it also leaves the Central with one of its more competitive franchises in Kansas City. They're gone now out of the AL Central, which is traditionally non-competitive.
And now they go to 2 teams in the West who are usually competitive, and they're not going to look that great.
Yeah, so
and then Atlanta's going to run the NL South.
But you know what? If you have success in Salt Lake City, and if you have success in Nashville, it'll just increase the owner's revenue pool. It might drive up a little bit of spending around the league, and then it's great for baseball.
And you know what? The future's bright, Miami. Future is bright. Kyle Stowers, my guy. Yeah. Future's bright. Edward Cabrera. Come on.
Cy Young winner, Sandy Alcantara.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
One of the great aces.
One of the great teams ever.
That's a wrap for me.
Good I'm good.
Dodgers Padres again this weekend. Best series around baseball.
Is it really?
Dodgers swept them last weekend. Now they're in San Diego for this weekend.
Go.
That's a huge series. I'll be tuned into those. I love those games because I'll watch Yankees Red Sox and then you just go right into Dodgers Padres.
Yep. Blake Snell, you Darvish tonight.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be one of the electric games of all time in baseball.
100%. I'll be locked in.
All right, good app today. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Always check down in the description for our timestamps on all 3 platforms, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can find us at The Boroughs. Make sure to follow BTO Gambling on Instagram, new account. And you can also check out, of course, BTO Media on Instagram and TikTok. There will be no gambling TikTok just yet, but down the road, possibly. All the content will go onto the BTO Media TikTok. Big gambling season coming up in football, big innovation or maybe renovation to our content schedule, and we're going to be adding a lot of gambling. Mike will be on a ton of that, spearheading it, so make sure you check it out, and we appreciate the support. Follow the Playbook on Instagram and TikTok as well at the PlayBK. Hardline Sports is back for football season.
Back for football. I'm sure we'll have something next week previewing the season.
And remember, 2 weeks from now, NFL's back, and we'll be doing the Sunday recap, 7:30 live here on YouTube. But the Boroughs continues on big weekends for both the Yankees and Mets playing their rivals in the Braves and Red Sox. Hopefully, at least one of the teams comes away with a win. So when we come back here Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday, we have something positive to talk about. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you after the weekend.